JD, a great win tonight, a real good performance from the boys tonight.
It was brilliant. It was all about the players tonight. You know, they were really disappointed the last time we were back here at the athletic ground against Richmond. You know, we got, you know, in a local derby, we got pulled into a bit of a fight there, and you know, the boys have had a real attitude about them the last 2 weeks. You know, a good rugged win away at Bedford this week, and it was important we came here and put on a show for the fans, and they certainly did that tonight.
It was quite unlike us to win a game without such drama. Credit to the players for doing it, well, I wouldn't say comfortably in the slightest, but they had control of the match, I think.
They did, yeah, and I thought their execution of the game plan, that first 30 minutes of the game was excellent, okay, and we talked about the performance, okay, there's always a lot of endeavour, which we get. We just talked about accuracy, and you know, there was real accuracy and some composure in the team today, and they gave themselves, you know, a great chance by racking up that big lead in the first half. As always, we made it interesting just before half time, going down to 13 men, and but yeah, when that happens, you've got to find some character within the team as well.
I know we had a couple of yellow cards, but actually on the whole we were fairly disciplined this evening, I thought.
Well, yeah, and that's been with a young side, that's always a thing that's always at the front of your mind. Or discipline and indiscipline at times has been a real killer in games that we've been competitive in. So, you know, that was the focus. You know, or discipline and a defensive effort. And I thought the defence tonight against a team that's sitting third, you know, with a lot of big players in there, I thought we really stuck in today, and you know, to concede only 12 points to a team like Ealing's really pleasing.
Yeah, we were pretty clinical this evening. Jason took his chance early on, and then Pete Lyden was fantastic with the boot.
He was, yeah, and you know, we all know what Pete can do, and he reminds us most weeks. And you know, that was, you know, the team gave him a platform today, and then we've got a kicker like Pete in the back. It's a final icing on the cake, and you know, 7 or 8 penalties there that's gave us the lead. And you win games in different ways. Thought there was a great try there between Bola and Jason Harris there as well. So, you know, outstanding team performance tonight. You know, Pete's done his bit for the team, but the squad, it'll be a real squad effort.
In terms of 80-minute wise, would you say that's one of our most complete performances of the season so far?
It would, yeah. I mean, and there's parts there almost like in, you know, that we've seen in Cornish Pirates game, and you know, away to Rotherham, etc. And even the Doncaster game, you know, we were very unfortunate to lose that game, playing for patches. I say, yeah. In terms over the 80 minutes, I think that's our most consistent that we've had.
Yep. After the Richmond game, there was a long, hard look at ourselves. The players deserve a lot of credit for coming back with the wins over Bedford and Ealing tonight as well.
They do, yeah. And obviously, we've all been in rugby a long time, and these games here, you know, let's not take a lot away from Richmond. Richmond are, you know, in this league on merit as well. I think a lot of people, you know, including people off the field, underestimated Richmond, and that's a great recipe. Okay, we got caught up in a derby match. We lost by a point. It wasn't the end of the world. You don't turn into a bad team overnight, but you know, the reactions all you look for as a management team. And the players did that. They knew straight away, and they've worked so hard the last 2 weeks. This week's training has just been, you know, how we played. I thought they were really, really accurate, and they've brought that into Friday night, which is pleasing.
Talking of not becoming a bad team overnight, after the Richmond defeat we were 11th, 2 wins in a row, suddenly we're 4th, so it's just a very tight mid-table area in the Championship.
It is, yeah, and it's key to get some consistency in these wins now. We've talked there, you know, back to work tomorrow, and we have a look at ourselves long and hard. There's a big areas we improve. We've got 2 weeks of the B&I Cup. We want to come back to this league and start putting some wins together. If we can put some wins together, we can get ourselves hopefully, you know, out of that middle part. You know, if you don't start winning games and get more, you can end up in that bottom part. You know, a lot of good players in here, and we've got good aspirations to do well. So to do that, we've got to win some games.
We've had some great away wins. Spoke during the week about putting something in for the home fans, and we definitely did that tonight.
We did, yeah, and I thought, you know, in terms of the team and selection, whatever, we've had a couple of big guys missing tonight, and Dave Cherry, etc., who's been excellent, who pulled out kind of late last minute. But in terms of the squad, in terms of the medical team, they've done a great job in giving us almost a full hand to pick from, and you know, it's clearly one of the strongest squads that we've been able to pick here at home. And you know, hopefully consistently we can keep everybody away from that injury, and we can have more lights like tonight.
Yep, and next Saturday we're back here in the B&I Cup. We've had a couple of good wins to start, so we'll be looking to extend that run. Yeah,
and obviously back to Saturday rugby, and you know, obviously I think hopefully a big crowd coming. We'll see the result today, and you know, we'll have some more people in. So you know, B&I Cup, we're sitting top of that group. We've done nothing yet. We've played 2 games. This 2 weeks is going to be a defining fortnight for us in terms of that competition. So we'll be looking no further than next Saturday. It's about momentum now. 2 wins. We'll want to come back here next week and make this a bit of a fortress.
We've had a few Friday night games in a row. Obviously back to Saturday next week. Does that change our game plan in the slightest?
No, not at all. I think we're clear in what we want to do. We make tweaks based on the opposition every week. Tonight was all about Ealing. You know, this week will be shaped around Jersey and the threats that they pose, and we'll look at adjusting our game as we do most weeks. And you know, we'll have some new stuff up our sleeve that we'll be looking to do next week.
Well done tonight. Great win.
Thank you very much.